Gemini, this is your December 2025 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading. It's Romy. Thanks for joining me on the channel and for all your support if you've been tuning in over the last 12 months. We are going to open up for you with the energy of the Daughter of Swords, the Page of Swords. Now look, we have your full moon arriving on the 4th of the month, and what a 6 months it's been since May 26th and that new moon. Life's changed, hasn't it? And so have you. Now, there is news coming to light. There are conversations that are taking place in and around that time that are very revelationary and actually incredibly important, because they almost give you the courage, the bravery to kind of speak your truth and to continue to kind of forge ahead. Now, there may be something around a misunderstanding or maybe not having all of the information that's needed. If that is the case, it feels like it comes in the preceding days, so it's not about getting yourself frustrated. We do have on the 6th your ruling planet Mercury also trining with Jupiter, so the information that is expressed or that arrives for you under that full moon is then almost providing you with something that can almost be like, it's like a good luck charm, or something opens up as a result of it. It's like, it's not the information, it's what you do with it is the energy around the 6th, okay? So pay attention, because there's something that can really work in your favor. And remember, Jupiter is moving through your 2nd house right now, so that can be fortuitous in terms of things connected into finances, to money, to sources of income. So the pathway can be laced with luck there, you know, that energy in the first few days can be super beneficial for you. We do want to call out on the 8th that Mars is going to be squaring with Saturn. Now, there's an honesty to December, and we already know the type of energies that we are up against at this time of year. They can be super sensitive, very emotional. We can spin out quite easily. We're in Sagittarius energy, which is your 7th house, so there's an awful lot of mirroring going on here. Key relationships under the spotlight. With Mars, there's this drive to move forward, yeah, but with Saturn, there could be some kind of restriction or heaviness that's felt in the desire to want to move forward. And because of what came to light in the days before that, you know, you could be forgiven for feeling a bit frustrated that everything felt like it was a green light, and then all of a sudden something is halted or slows down a little bit around the 8th. But the Chariot here is really important, and the fact that we've got this black and white horse feels like it's that sort of polarity of a situation that you're dealing with around that time. The benefit, I think, is that you see things in a very new light because of the ways in which you've changed, right? And I think as you give yourself time to really appreciate that, maybe there's an old story or an old pattern that would have you responding in a certain way, but if you just give yourself a moment to pause before rushing in, I think you'll find that maybe it's not such a big trigger in the way that it used to be. Maybe it's not such a big deal. Maybe it doesn't have to be so difficult, so challenging, so hard. Right? Now that is a temporary energy, so again, it's like when met with a little grace, doesn't feel like it really gets in the way of what we're looking at here, which is some real significant progress. One of the big themes I think that you're working with in this month of December, Gemini, is how you love yourself and not lose yourself. Lose yourself in what? Lose yourself in the relationship, in the work, in the responsibility, in the duty, in the family, in the motherhood, whatever it is. It's about how do you find this new level of nurturing, respecting, taking care of yourself at the same time as, you know, being so clear in who you are, so that these things that are all part of life, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon, right? You know, so we have to find a new way to embrace them that still serves us and the growth that's taken place within us. And I feel like your King of Coins here, your King of Pentacles, is almost like bringing that message home in a way that says, you know, we're going to get really rooted and we're going to build a really strong foundation in our sense of self so that we can maintain that love and appreciation and not lose it. and not check out on ourselves and not make choices and decisions that go directly against what our soul is crying out for, you know, what our solar plexus needs in order for things to continue to be digested and processed in the right way. Now on the 10th, when Neptune stations direct, you're definitely reminded about something that has been in your mind, in your heart, and maybe for whatever reason this year has not given you the chance to fulfill that or to put any real time, focus or energy. As more planets start to shift into Capricorn, you're going to find a focus and a stamina and a resiliency to really consider this in a new way, and maybe even in an ambitious way. You know, even if it's something that other people would see as sort of insignificant, it's not to you, and you really kind of throw your weight behind committing to it. This is a month where the honesty makes a difference, because it's like you're finally ready, and so it doesn't matter how many times somebody can tell you something that might be good for you. If you're not in a space or a place where you're really ready to take that action or make that adjustment for yourself, you know, it doesn't go anywhere, or it's very temporary, but you have landed and arrived at a time when you are ready for that. Now, Mars will square Neptune on the 14th, but Mars also shifts into Capricorn on the 14th. So don't be disillusioned or confused by, I guess, the myriad of options, or, you know, maybe something feels a bit overwhelming, like you had a plan of how to do it and all of a sudden there's so many more options on the table than you'd considered. Just remind yourself of what the bigger picture looks and feels like for you. And also, back to this key theme, how can I love, appreciate and take care of myself without losing myself in the process? And so all choices and decisions feel like they're kind of benchmarked in relation to that. And that makes a huge difference, right? Now you have time, okay? Your High Priestess says you have time. Just really sit with this, get into perfect alignment with it, come into balance with it. Even the King of Coins is saying we've got time here. So the Chariot is super beneficial because it's an initiatory cardinal energy, but at the same time it can kind of get us in a sort of almost frustrated stance because we just feel like we're on some kind of urgent ride and we don't need to be. So, you know, get off of that train if that's where it's heading. And more than any time of the year, this can be one of those energies, right? It has to be instant, it has to be now. Actually, it doesn't. And as you approach that new moon in Sagittarius, your gut feeling, the sense that you have of this is the right thing for me, or this is the right way for me, or whatever it is that's going on, feels like you just really accept it. You accept it. Now in 7th house, you got to ask for the help that you need, right? Because people can show up in ways that can be super supportive. But if you're not communicating that, then nobody knows. So don't be keeping things so much to yourself that you're then not afforded the beauty of people being able to offer in those beautiful heart-led ways things that can be so beneficial for you. And this is the month of giving, but also of receiving. So allow that beautiful reciprocity to come in, and it feels like there's a real gift around that new moon in Sagittarius for you. Now your 4 of Cups is, you know, sometimes that energy that comes in and makes it a little bit hard to kind of feel that we can sustain something, right? You know, it's like we get an energy and we're riding high on it and then it dissipates really fast. And so we're like, what's that feeling? We're chasing the feeling again. Just allow yourself to move through the waves of whatever it is that's going on, okay? Again, there's no rush here. And if you come to that awareness and that acceptance that there's no urgency, there's no rush, then that 4 of Cups doesn't become problematic. If you do and you start to get really critical and harsh and judgmental on yourself, then all of a sudden the energy of that 4 of Cups starts to put you in some kind of procrastination and you just can't get moving, you can't get clear. Now, we'll come into solstice energy on the 21st, and there's going to just be a beautiful opportunity for, you know, that seasonal shift and that realignment to come in, and then your alchemist steps forward. So allow these pauses, allow these times to just root something in, okay? And if you feel the rigidity of something or someone, also don't be letting that really dampen down your spirits or your belief or your knowing or your vision, because you are the alchemist in this instance. You maintain your focus here. You know, you can see how focused she is with her sword, with the direction of the horses, with the focus that she has in receiving as that vessel of the High Priestess. That's your biggest gift this month, Gemini. That you can hold your attention to the things that are coming in and showing up for you in a way that you can really make sense and decipher what they mean uniquely for you. And you're flooded with ideas, but the question is, what are the ones that are going to bring you the most peace? No chasing of the shiny objects, no running after things or people or situations that, you know, you feel obligated towards. This is about doing it on your terms and in your way. And, you know, Capricorn energy arrives, and as we prepare to close out this year, and we're going to move into a 1 year, so there's this whole invitation for a brand new sense of self-expression. And, you know, you're moving through rebirth energy in the 8th house. So this is perfect timing for you, right at the edge of this beautiful sacred crossroads moment. What are you going to do with it? You have everything that you need, says the alchemist. Don't get bogged down in the paperwork or create so much paperwork for yourself that you lose sight of things, okay? But keep communicating, because Page of Swords and the Magician says that you can literally speak things into being through the course of this month. It can be a super busy time. It feels like it's going to be a busy time, you know, but you still manage to get done what is important and what matters to you. But that's because you've decided ahead of time what you're prioritizing, and maybe there's only 1, 2, or 3 things that really matter most to you in this month. Everything else needs to just fall away for now. You'll come back into sync with it again in the new year, but just trust. Okay, and remember with the Chariot, like sometimes we're walking a path that hasn't been trodden before, you know, so everything feels brand new. And if there are parts of your life that feel like that, then embrace the adventure of that, you know, the fact that everything is unwritten right now. There's no rules here. There's no right or wrong way to do something. There's just what you're leaning into, what feels inspiring, and what ultimately feels peaceful for you. Again, embraced with this notion that, you know, you've got to be able to maintain this love and respect for yourself and not lose who you are as you embark upon this next chapter. If you're new, the last 3 cards we're going to look at in the extended reading, we talk for another 25 minutes or so. We'll look at a personal and a relationship card for you also, Gemini. So if you're vibing with the reading, if you'd like to support my work, then I'd love you to join me. It really means a lot. Helps me to keep the channel going. I'm going to go ahead and clarify these cards and see the direction we're going to take this. We've got the Queen of Fire coming in. We've also got the 8 of Cups. This Chariot is showing up with another High Priestess for us, and a 5 of Cups. King of Coins brings in King of Air, and the 4 of Air. High Priestess, King of Fire, Empress, 10 of Fire, 7 of Air. You've got to burn through some things here. You've got to sift through what's real and what's illusionary. You've got to not lie to yourself, and you've also not got to accept anything that's coming at you that feels like it's not on your wavelength. Allow yourself the nostalgia. Allow yourself the emotional reflection. Allow yourself the time and space to kind of really breathe. And if you need to make your world really small to do that, that's what you need to do. But also take the time to really think about what this last 6 months has meant, because that full moon is bringing things to completion and fruition from what was initiated and thought about and outlined and activated May 26th. So this is Life Soul Vision Oracle, which is my own deck. We've got golden ribbons of light coming through for you. And then one more oracle for Gemini. Let's have a look. We've got the Hagstone, energy shield, protection, and inner strength. All those beautiful blues coming through, Gemini. Right, I'm going to leave it here. I hope you'll join me on the extended. I wish you a beautiful holiday season, grounded, peaceful, celebratory, loving, and with true acknowledgement of everything that you've been through, how much you've changed. Just embrace and love who you are, love who you're becoming. Thanks for all your support this year. My work is evolving. I hope you'll continue on the journey with me. Stay tuned through my social medias, my newsletter to see the directions. And I'll see you again soon. You take good care.